In this video, you'll learn how to create concrete beams as part of the structural formwork plan in ideCAD Architectural. We'll show you how to activate the beam command, work in structural design mode, and use the beam toolbar to define width, height, elevation, and delta values. You'll also see how to customize the beam's visual style, draw across multiple columns with automatic segmentation, and streamline your workflow using shortcuts like the Spacebar and mouse wheel click. By the end of this video, you'll be able to model structural beams with speed, precision, and full control. With the architectural layout complete, we can now move on to the beam and structural design plan phase. To begin the formwork plan, the first step is to define and place the beams. Go to the Concrete tab in the top ribbon and click the Beam command from the available tools. This activates the beam drawing mode, allowing you to start defining the structural framing layout of your building. As you may have noticed, I was initially working in architectural plan mode. However, the moment I selected the beam command, the program automatically switched to structural design mode. With this mode change, walls are hidden to reduce visual clutter, and only columns and shear walls remain visible, providing a clear view of the load-bearing system. This allows you to work in a simplified environment, focused entirely on structural elements. It makes it much easier to identify, place, and modify beams, columns, and shear walls without distraction from architectural components. When you click the beam command, the beam toolbar becomes active at the top of the screen. From this toolbar, you can access various commands and settings such as beam types, width and height values, and delta. This gives you full control over the beam's properties right from the beginning of the layout process, enabling precise and efficient structural modeling. You can directly adjust the beam's width and height from the beam toolbar. These settings are also accessible through the Beam Settings dialog. When you click the Settings icon, Beam Settings dialog opens where you can define the beam material. Enter width, height, elevation, and write delta elevation values to create sloped beams. Customize the hatch type, color, and line type to suit your visual or documentation preferences. This gives you full flexibility to tailor both the structural and graphical properties of the beam before placing it in your formwork plan. Drawing beams is very similar to drawing walls. You simply click on specific points to define the beam path and complete the layout. If you're placing a beam that spans across multiple columns, you don't need to click on each column individually to draw separate beam segments. The program automatically splits the beam at each intersection and generates the appropriate beam segments for you, streamlining the workflow and saving valuable time. If needed, you can press the spacebar during placement to change the delta direction of the beam. Here's a helpful tip to speed up your workflow during beam drawing or any other repetitive task. Pressing the scroll wheel, middle mouse button, automatically reactivates the last used command. Additionally, right-clicking opens the context menu, where a list of recently used commands appears at the top. This allows you to quickly repeat commonly used actions without having to navigate back to the ribbon menu, saving valuable time, especially when working with repetitive commands. You continue by clicking point by point along the desired beam path. With all the beam elements placed and adjusted, we've now successfully completed the beam layout. This structural framework will serve as the foundation for the next phase of our formwork plan. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore the knowledge base for more tips. See you in the following video.